Hiya, my name's Charlie and welcome to my channel and welcome to my weekly reads. How are you guys have been? What have you been up to this week? Is it sunny where you are? Have you been enjoying all of that? Before I get into all of my natty stuff, I am just going to go straight into talking about the books that I read in the last week. So, the books that I finished in the last week, I started and finished reading / listening to Friendaholic by Confessions of a Friendship Addict by Elizabeth Day. This is a non-fiction book by Elizabeth Day, obviously about friendship, and I just thought this was so interesting. She basically talks about all the friendships she's had in her lifetime. She also talks about kind of like the history of friendships, friendships throughout the pandemic, and basically how her friendships during those times evolved, and sort of like, you know, you could tell during those times who were the people that were there for you. I know we all, I'm guessing, experienced that. Just so many relatable things. I just really enjoyed this book. The audiobook is narrated by Elizabeth herself. It also talks about like kind of toxic friendships. What I'll do is actually, I'll do what I always do with non-fiction. I'll stick like the content page in because I always think that's really interesting. I always like to see that myself. Yeah, so she's got the pandemic, like I said, making friends. She also has like interview kind of things with her existing friends, and like talks about like how she became friends with those friends, and then also sort of like has this like interview kind of thing with them in it. Yeah, it's got about ghosting in here, contracts, frenemies, like I said. There's also a big content warning in this book for fertility. It's a chapter said fertility, not having children, when all your friends do. And so yeah, there's obviously trigger content warnings for all of like what comes with that, like miscarriage, etc. A lot of the things in this book I found relatable, and I just found myself realizing a lot of things about myself, because in terms of like, I'm the kind of person that really loves making new connections with people. I really thrive on that. I am an introvert. I would say I'm an introvert, or maybe possibly an ambivert, you might say. If that, I don't know, is that a thing? I don't really know. But yeah, my friendships mean a lot to me. All the friends in my life that I make mean a lot to me. Even the connections I have online. But it's sort of like almost like taught me maybe why that is, and like also it sort of taught me about maybe it's okay to sometimes have like to put like boundaries in place, which I thought was really interesting, and to sort of like be a bit gentle on yourself as well. So yeah, it's just really good book. It really surprised me. And if you are like me, and if you want to just know a bit more about like Elizabeth Day's friendships, if you want to learn a bit more about kind of this topic, just pick it up. Yeah, it's just very relatable, really good, really interesting. I don't necessarily think being a friendaholic is a terrible thing, and I don't think she paints it in that way at all. So yeah, maybe this is a title that I need to have for myself, but I don't think that makes any of the connections in my life any less real, or yeah, so I don't think it's like a terrible thing. So but yeah, the only thing that I would say about this is, which I don't know anything really about Elizabeth Day, so in terms of siblings and family, like obviously when she's talking about the friendships in this, obviously she's talking about people that you're not related to and people that you're not having sex with, obviously. So she doesn't talk about those other relationships in your lives. I'm very lucky with the friendships I've got in my life, but I'm also I would say that my mum and my sisters, obviously my husband, they are like my best friends too as well. So I feel like it's almost like there's like a missed trick in like talking about like familial relationships possibly, and obviously like relationships. I don't know, relationship friendships. I don't really know. Yeah, but yeah, it's good. That's it. I recommend, obviously. So I was in the library, and I was looking through the picture books mainly because we were looking for books for future weeks to read with the kids, and I came across this little it's Big Ideas for Little Philosophers, and these are like a series, I discovered a series of picture books. They're non-fiction picture books, and this one, it says it's happiness with Aristotle. So obviously you've got a little illustrated Aristotle. And it's this one that basically talks about friendship. So these two books, this is like, I would say, the picture book version of this. So if you've got any little people in your life, this really talks about friendship in a really cute and lovely way. I've got some pictures I will put on screen about it. I recommend this series. I feel like this is like probably, I don't know, I haven't seen any of the other books in the series, but I think this would be a good little series to head to if you are wanting to read picture books, or if you've got any kids in your life that want to discuss some slightly heavier issues. I feel that this does it in a really good way. There's also another picture book that I picked up, which I just thought I loved the cover of, and it kind of gives me the art style. It's a little bit kind of like Art Nouveau, like the lettering, and it's just really gorgeous illustration. So it's James Thorpe, and the illustrator is Angus McKinnon. And yeah, this is about a little boy who finds at the beginning of the book, finds a strange creature, and he wants to know what the name of it is, and he's going around asking everybody. And it basically is about everyone feeling like at the beginning, like feeling like you know nothing, but actually the journey of discovering things. It's fun. If you've got kids, or if you're an adult that wants to read it, pick it up. So those are all of the books that I finished. I've also been reading a lot on my a few things on my e-reader, and obviously audiobooks. So in terms of that, I've read The God of Good Looks, which is the Caribathon pick, and it's by Breanna McIvor. This is a book set in Trinidad, and the main character, we follow two narratives. In this book we follow Bianca, who has dreams of becoming a writer, and then she meets Obadiah Cortland, I think that's right, yeah, and he gives her a job in a magazine, basically. So it's told in the letter format from Bianca, and also first person perspective from Obadiah. And so yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, it's basically sort of like, this book basically discusses like class barriers, etc. There's a lot more to it as well, and I really want to, I'm only quite early doors still into it. I'm about 100 pages in, and it's about, I think it's nearly 400 pages. And yeah, it's just really, it's really interesting. I'm not like, the beginning bit hasn't like pulled me right in, but I'm hoping to like get a little bit more into it, finish it, and then listen and watch the live show from Peter and Karen, links in the description for that video, because I know that's already happened, but I wanted to watch it after I finished obviously the book. I think Peter did enjoy it overall. I know she had like a mixed experience at the beginning, similar to how I'm feeling at the moment, but yeah, hopefully by the end I will know where I'm at with it. So in terms of the Caribathon, again, I picked up a poetry collection by Raymond, Antrobus, which is All the Names Given, and this I'm not very good at describing poetry. I love Raymond Antrobus's poetry. This is his second collection. His first collection, I'll put a image of on screen. I think it's the Perseverance, or Perseverance, which is a phenomenal collection. And actually I listened to the audiobook of that, which was amazing, because that's narrated by Raymond himself. Raymond is a deaf author, so yeah, it's just, yeah, he always like the things he always writes about, he always like touches on things to do with his deafness, also to do with race and class. And this one in particular, what is written in the thing, it says it discusses miscommunication, language, place and memory. So yeah, I'm about halfway through the collection. It's not super long. Again, it's another one I hopefully finish by the end of the week, depending on how I get on and how much time I've got. So I'm also listening to an audiobook again, which I kindly got from Netgalley. So again, thank you to Netgalley. I'm listening to The House of Doors by Twan. Twan you might know of because he's a Malaysian author, and he's been previously longlisted, I believe, for the Booker Prize in 2007 for the book The Gift of Rain, and then shortlisted in 2013 for The Garden of Evening Mists. I believe that's correct. And in this book, The House of Doors, it's historical fiction, and it's set in 1921, and basically we're following, and it's set in Penang, which is obviously a state in Malaysia, and we follow Robert Hamlin, who's a lawyer, his wife Leslie, and it's sort of their story, but there's also like a mystery sort of like woven into it. And also there's a character in here that is obviously from real life. It's which is William Somerset Maugham, who was a writer, a poet, and he also wrote short stories. And also, so I've heard of him through, there's a Somerset Maugham like book prize, a literary book prize I've heard of. I haven't ever followed the prize, but I have heard booktubers that have talked about it. So yeah, and that's how when that name came up, I was like, oh, I recognise that name. And I obviously went off and Googled a little bit. Yeah, the book, the audiobook I'm listening to is really well narrated. I think we've got 2 narrators, which I'll put the names on screen. And yeah, it's just quite a fun, quirky tale. I've been listening to it whilst I've been doing my puzzles, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, enjoying what I've read so far. I think, again, I'm about a third of the way in. I think that's about right. So yeah, so that is all of the books that I've read. And I, like, in terms of what I've got loads of books that I want to read. One of which, obviously, where are we in the month? So we're coming towards the end of the month. That's a really good segue actually into talking about what's something I want you guys to do for me if you can. I'm good. By the time I put this up, you guys would have already seen. So obviously in July it's Jane Austen July, which is a book readathon hosted by predominantly, it's got a few hosts, but predominantly by the lovely Katie from Books and Things. I'll put all the other hosts in the description. And yeah, so this is something I kind of feel like I kind of loosely join in every year. I always try and read a Jane Austen book in July. I try. So yeah, this year I couldn't decide between Emma or Sense and Sensibility. I have read both of these previously, but I haven't read them for a while. So if you guys could please vote, or tell me, or write a comment telling me which one you think you want me to reread. Yeah, I can't decide. Do I want to read about Sense and Sensibility, about sisters, or do I want to read about Emma? Emma is one of the bookish characters. I guess she could be unlikable as well, but I just adore her. And it was one of the first Jane Austens that I sort of really, really fell in love with the character. So yeah, it's a fun one. So yeah, tell me which one should I read, which one you want me to read. And I'll start that in July, which I don't know, is that the end of next week by the time you watch this? I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't looked. Yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to say. So in like terms of like, this is something I should have said it last week, but I've been a bit scared to say it. So I wanted to say thank you so much, because I hit my 1,000 subscribers. So thank you to each and every single one of you who has subscribed. And if you just watch the videos, thank you so much. Or if you regularly comment, or if you comment occasionally, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate all your support. Yeah, obviously I'm so grateful, honestly, for you. Let me know in the comments how you guys would like me to sort of celebrate that. Would you like me to do a live show? Would you like me to do a Q&A? Yeah, just, I don't know when I'll do it, but let me know. So last week when I was listening to my audiobook, like I said, The House of Doors, and I did my Sherlock puzzle, which I'll put a picture of on screen. This is a puzzle that Charlie gave me for my birthday last year. Thank you, Charlie. And I love doing a good puzzle. I don't normally do them in the summer, being honest, but I thought, well, it was really hot outside, so it was sort of like, seemed like the perfect time to sort of like chill and listen to an audiobook and treat myself to that. So yeah, that has been quite fun. And then subsequently after that, I started another puzzle, which my eldest has also been helping me with, and then we pulled a pile of puzzles from my sister's house, because she's a puzzle obsessed. So yeah, so hopefully we'll do a few more of those. It's just a nice way, like when you're in the evenings, just to kind of sit down and just do a few pieces. It doesn't mean the table is kind of taken up with the puzzle, but which drives me a little bit crazy. But I do have one of those board things, but I'm really rubbish at like getting it out, putting it away. It just always feels like a big faff to me. So anyway, do you guys like puzzles? If so, let me know in the comments below if you've got any recommendations. I was thinking actually I might get the Jane Austen puzzle, you know, the world of Jane Austen, and treat myself to that, because I could probably do that obviously in July maybe. So yeah, that's that. I know, so this week is obviously independent bookshop week. As you watch this, it's like the last day of independent bookshop week. I guess, is it last day or first day? Does it count, depending on when you count your week? Do you count if you count your week on a Sunday or Monday? I don't really know. As you watch this, on the previous day I'm going to Oxford with my lovely friend Claire. We're going to be doing a bookshop crawl there. I don't know how many books I will be buying, but I certainly will be vlogging, I think. So that might be fun. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the description. I probably would have filmed it anyway, but if you want to see it, let me know. So yeah, that's going to be really loads of fun. And then in the evening, obviously it's cozy reading night, which would have happened, so there's no point me linking anything unless Lauren's got a vlog up which I could link. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to both those things, especially having time with my friend, because it's been a little while since I've seen her. So we're gonna have a nice catch up. That's gonna be my favourite part of the day, as well as obviously going to the bookshops. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have had a good week. Let me know what you've been up to. Let me know what you've been reading. Let me know what your plans are. Let's just have a good old natter in the comments below. And thank you again for all your support. Take care and sending you lots of love. Goodbye.